The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The Living Room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the True Nation Station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, all right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know iterate and the state with the chest that Columbus lied, but also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, where the P this week stands for
Palance, Aaron. Palance.
Mashing of the place.
I mean, we've entered the second half of the year officially. That's right. We are now in...
Just now, pause. Did we really?
Well, monthly, yeah.
Oh, monthly, okay, cool.
Yeah. What? All right, you know what? Let me get this thing out of the way. Before I go down that road, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage, on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Blah, 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 blah. And this is my co-host, my lead host, my clearly confused or in a particularly good mood, DJ Aaron 868.
DJ Aaron 868.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, the reason why I'm asking that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is because we have 365 days for the year.
Right.
If you divide that by 2, that's 180.
82 and a half.
182 and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the 182nd day of the year?
Should have the P this week? Should that be for pain? Yes. All right.
Okay. Cool.
What day of the week? What day of the year are we in, Aaron?
I stand corrected.
What day of the year are we in, Aaron? Mr. Williams.
We are actually flush on the 182nd day of the year. So I guess halfway through tomorrow, the 2nd of July, we'll be smack dab in the middle of the year.
So, smack dabidly.
So proceed.
All right. Okay.
I don't know why I always thought it was off now.
Yeah, you see, we have a Gregorian calendar, which is 12 months with a distribution of days to adjust for the correction from a 13-month calendar, which actually had an equal number of days.
Yeah.
Right? So what really going on here is having addressed that. It had 12 months. We finished 6. We have 6 to go. I call it that middle. I ain't going into the whole who moved what and when the top 10 days off of the year in 1582 to move from one calendar to the other.
That was the mysterious October.
what? Yeah, I think it was on October. Right? What I'm saying is these things happen right now. In Trinidad and Tobago, it's just after 6 p.m. Right? We've started July. So rabbit. Accordingly, I think that's what people say.
Yeah.
You know where that come from, right?
Where?
It's like a blessing to have meat for the month now.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I believe if you're using rabbit, it would be a whole maybe the European. Maybe it would have been something European, one of those Celtic
Okay.
sayings, so English type thing before it was England as England is. Anyway, all of that trivia aside, we're not on a game show, we are on a talk show, and I want to acknowledge that for all of those who had New Year's resolutions that you didn't get to, you could have started today, right? It's the first day of the second half of the year. This is round 2. Come on, let's finish strong. It's finished strong, right? I finished so strong, in fact, that I'm wearing a severely undersized T-shirt. You see,
I realize.
Yeah, it's great there. Yeah, this was a T-shirt that Aaron got me for the cricket match we had. What that was 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
I wasn't smaller then. Aaron just decided to do me this piece of justice now.
Well, then I will definitely never wear mine again.
You better you don't. You need your circulation for the next couple of weeks. I'm celebrating my friend today. This was a fantastic initiative, and the cricket was actually entertaining. In contrast to some of what we've seen going on recently. I ain't gonna look to be that guy. I ain't being that guy. But yeah, Palance, it's also soon to be Java, as the youth have taken to calling it. The July-August vacation is approaching.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, this year it's only 7 weeks long.
Yeah, I think school closes on the 11th and opens back the first week in September.
Yeah, so it's 7 weeks. But if I'm not mistaken, that happened because Christmas they got 4 weeks instead of 3 or something like that.
Christmas was longer last year.
Yeah. Right, so I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't know how this school thing works anymore.
Neither. Well, I should have seen that SO works in a school. Yeah, I should. I'll find out and report next week.
Noted, yes. My supervising officer also has one offspring of school attending age. Yeah. So we should have a better idea.
We should know. Yeah. That's on us. That's on us.
But the balancing has begun or will begin shortly. Driving through San Fernando the other night, we saw several bars were not so well attended. By the next night, though, they pretty much were. So it looked like people.
Okay.
It looked like people pay kicking. I've heard music from areas, so I guess they have the car shows and whatnot and that type of thing. So going to be kicking off and happening again soon. Youth, enjoy your youth. I would ask you though to go consider your futures. You know, you don't have to enjoy the entirety of your youth tonight.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Yeah, P is also for prom season, I guess, because they stopped calling it graduation for whatever reason. Yeah.
I think that's something I do agree with Ax. Because yesterday, my co-worker and we saw that Massey had a sale. Sorry, I should rephrase. We saw that groceries within the Marabella area had sales.
Right. I remember. We have an email to read.
Yeah.
I know see the importance of that particular email. So yeah.
So we went to peruse these supermarkets.
Yeah.
To see if we could procure some items which we were both in need of.
You realize we have a proclivity to P-words?
Yeah, boy. I don't know why.
Tony has left his DNA on our program. Irremovably right? So. I don't mind. Go ahead.
Now, with that being said, while we were on our way to the second supermarket, she made she made the statement.
Mess?
Yeah, I blatantly call it a mess. She made a mess of the statement and said, yeah, well, summer coming up.
Oh, dear.
I good thing the windows was down.
Were you blown away?
But I spit the water out. I was having watermelon. Right? I spit the seeds out. I was like, we don't have summer in Trinidad and Tobago.
Summer breeze.
We have July, August vacation, Java, as you said earlier. Tell me that. Java. Don't tell me summer. If that is the case, when is autumn? Is autumn when the mango leaves fall off the tree?
You know what, Aaron? That is a pretty good question. When is autumn? If we are summer, when is autumn?
Right? We know, like, if you want to say winter, we know that come January, February, all of a sudden, it is be cold.
It is be little nippy.
It's be nippy. There's a nip in the air.
Yeah, the Piaco readings, drop below 20 degrees and that kind of thing.
The other day, I think this year, I think I got 16 or 17 down by me.
All right. My morons here ever score. What?
No, brother, man. In that cricket, I comfortably scored at 30-something in the second game, huh?
I want us to go back to that cricket because I'm pretty certain I'm better today than I was then. We could
organize something. We'll organize something
let
later
me get
on in the
something
year.
going. Yeah.
Right? But
during autumn.
Probably in autumn, yeah. Because the weather will be better.
Yeah. And cool evenings as the pumpkins turn. And
Yeah. Pumpkin spice lattes and all that stuff. Anyway. Right? Because that's my big thing. If we so want to buy everything that is for sale on the internet, on Patrick Manning's internet,
yes,
you need to apply some logic to it. So if you can't buy one season of 4.
You know what? You're right. So let's look at the seasons that we do have. Apparently we have. Well, that's where you're going with this? No, I think we have 4 seasons too, man.
Let me hear you.
All right, so we have summer now.
Right.
We have carnival.
Right.
We have guava, also known as banga. Right. And what would be the 4th? Is Christmas a season in Trinidad? Right?
Christmas is a day right now. If we're lucky.
We could agree. Let's go through the year from top to bottom. We start the year with guava season,
which is January.
Right. We don't have to explain to anybody here
what is carnival.
That guava season is the January, the longest month of the year. Right? The longest year of the year.
No, well, if we're being correct in it, guava season actually starts around the 16th of December.
Fair. Now, you see, you might still have a little coin all then.
No, right. That is when it is, the 16th of December. When they get your mid-month pay in December, that had a rally through the month of January. Yeah. Right? So guava season starts around the 16th of December and ends January the 31st. But there's an overlapping guava season and carnival.
Right.
Right.
Because you're still catching yourself February from January's guava season.
Right. So then Trinidad have more than 4 seasons essentially.
Hold on, we didn't name the 4th one yet. It's guava to start.
So guava into carnival.
Yeah.
Into Lent.
I better we call that slow season,
Slow
because
season,
it's not just Lent. There's been several overlaps.
Yeah. Well, now we have the overlaps, yeah. So we'll call that season the slow down season.
Yeah, everybody know after carnival things will drop off.
Yeah, things will drop off a little bit, right?
You might get away with a best jazz or maybe a little comedy show. I pick up Bonnet Bigford. Listen, I had to say this. Bonnet Bigford is a stunning woman. Stunning. She was a host for the Point Fortin Borrowday Queen show.
Right.
Not a host, a judge.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And she's smaller than you would think. She is shorter than you think. But her personality, her energy, her authority is huge. Fascinating woman. Just to see the way space just seems to shift around her. God bless Bonnet Bigford and all her endeavors.
Big up Bonnet.
Yeah. Right. So you'll get some top quality jazz shows and that type of thing in that season. But generally, events is not a heavy event season.
Right. So there is slow down period.
Yeah. I mean, even the greatest dancehall artist, the king of dancehall, couldn't pull off. Anyway, let me not interpret that. Let's leave that where it is. Events do struggle in that window.
Right. And then it kickstarts back in May with Borrow.
Borrow. I know. God bless Point Fortinians. Library.
Yeah, I know the question I go and ask if the borrowing.
As a season though?
Well, borrow is the kickstart of the next season.
Which is?
The pickup.
So it have a pre-job. It have a pre-summer.
Yeah, the pickup and then Java.
you had to support that for me a little bit. When we have borrow,
Right.
what about Superior? When is Superior?
June.
Which is still before. So then we could safely say that summer really starts
With borrow.
with borrow.
That's a real long summer, you know.
Well, around the fact that, okay, guava season is technically only a month long.
Good point. Carnival is technically 5 weeks on salt.
I like where you're going with this. I like that. So what we're saying is that there does not need to be a consistency of length
Yeah.
to qualify as a season Trinidad and Tobago only. We have
Slow down is about 7 to 8 weeks.
because even Easter though exactly.
Yeah.
There's a heightened activity in terms of you might see a couple events, Fisherman Festival and those types of things might happen, but it ain't really picked back up yet.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, so we're looking at guava season, carnival season, slow down, summer.
Right.
Because really we'll have the borrow. When is Arima? Arima have a
I don't know. I'm not a frequenter of Arima.
We have anybody who could represent Arimali? You could say something in the shout box. Yeah, say something in the shout box.
I like that. Arimali.
Yeah, or even if you want to comment on the recording on DJ Aaron 868 YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the living room playlist. Yeah, drop your comments there because we that's a pretty good way to engage with us as well. So far we already have 4 seasons.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Summer looking like that whole May.
From May to September.
May, June, July, August.
Into September.
I mean, September is really school. Back to school is one of the biggest things in Trinidad and Tobago. So many things as we rotate around that. That's when you had to make sure if you're doing an event, you had to get it off before back to school weekend.
Correct.
Right? Back to school is when you're sure that the money that's spending then going to have October being a bit of a secondary guava season.
Correct is right.
Right. So we could say that back to school is a big thing. There's a lot of that's where you'll get plenty book drives and back to school sales, and there's a lot of activity around that season because budget is ready shortly after school is reopened, that kind of thing.
Right.
So that could be autumn in Iran because there's a fall. There's a fall in everything except prices.
Another fall off.
Yes. So autumn could be that piece of jamming.
No, but then again, also in Java, we have band launch season.
But when do band launches start? Because
band launches actually started last weekend.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's why that whole pickup pre-Java business, I think all of that kind of fall into summer.
We had to really sit down and dissect the calendar properly. Because if we don't do that and dissect it properly before we come on air, we will spend the entire hour just trying to dissect the Trinidad and Tobago calendar.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Because think about it, Aaron. The thing that we all have in common, regardless of ethnicity, political affinity, religion, social standing, economics, the thing that we all have in common is time.
Correct.
We all have to experience time. So the way that we look at, measure, use time, I think is an important thing. Because let's put it this way, we've all been invited to things that we know we're not going to because it fall out of season.
You know what? The only thing I go to regardless of the season is bingo.
Yeah, I realize he's a man that's moving with your bingo bags and thing a lot lately.
Whoa, brother, man. Whoa.
Right, true. You do have bags of bingo cards and thing with you?
No.
Oh, that's just a normal knapsack, your laptop bag.
Yeah.
Aaron, you can't tell me that bag never hold bingo cards.
It was one bag. Bingo cards.
It was one bag.
Never held bingo bags. It's actually a prize in bingo.
What is a bingo bag?
That the S1 I won yesterday.
Well, that is the epitome of bingo bag. A bag one in the bingo.
Well, that brother man,
Anyway,
you need to read that email.
I'm going to read that email.
You need to read that email.
Anyway, right. So we have. I like, you really raise a good point there with that band launch, because band launch season, I'm not seeing as many. Maybe my algorithm has been adjusted, but I thought there would have been more band launches by now. Maybe people waiting for school to close or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they're probably celebrating other carnivals of your season and that kind of thing. I know.
Yeah, because
right.
Antigua is month end July.
I know St. Lucia had their Calypso Monarch semis going on Sunday night.
Oh.
So, yeah. So carnivals, the other islands, carnivals and band launch season and that type of thing is up and running. So yeah, the pickup really flows into Java. So
Right.
So summer will really be that May, June, July, August, which I presume would be the longest season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then like after that, then we move into the I don't know if as you say, the budget season, which is a slowdown. And then we start to pick back up around Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So if
it pick back up.
If it pick back up. So like since we clarified that part of it, and if they want to liken it to the 4 seasons, we have fall twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Summer once for the year.
So we could call it autumn and autumn.
Autumn and autumn, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Then winter tied in with guava.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we have people right now spraying the house with fake snow and things. So
Exactly.
yeah, and we eating apples and them kind of thing instead of.
And then carnival is spring.
I guess.
Spring.
But in terms of out of time and events here, let's put it this way. If you heard that a school was having a sports day in September, you would have said mad.
Brother man, if you tell me you're having an outdoor event in June, something is wrong.
Well, what I'm saying, so we know that sports day season, all the sports days, the marathons, the walkathons, all of those things, the 5Ks, they generally tend to happen.
April, May.
I would say March, April, May.
Yeah, March. Yeah, Lent into, yeah.
Right, just before Carnival 2 year old. Yeah, I mean, let's put this way, a lot of the sports days and thing was end up just before.
No, just after.
Just after, yes, correct.
Yeah, just after. Okay, remember when we were going to that Verdun school on the hill, our sports day used to be that first Friday after Carnival.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the marathon used to be the week
Carnival,
before.
Carnival Friday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember that. I play mad. I don't know if I could tell the story, yeah?
Tammy something. Tammy, she has her last name was 2 names because I believe she was half Chinese. Tammy something. She was a young lady who helped me across the finish line in my first marathon. Tammy something. She won prayers. One of the last
Female.
There were maybe 2 or 3 years of female students.
Because I think when I came in Form 1, I think in Form 2 would have been the last. I can't remember.
Yeah, we were mad because just when we were about to get bumped up to the block, they stopped taking female students.
Wait, unfortunate.
That I believe that changed and possibly saved my life.
But I remember a year after the marathon, I played fast and decided to go Old Tech had you start a carnival thing now.
Yeah.
So I played mad and went Old Tech thing. Brother man, the cramp I started catching Old Tech.
Yeah, nah, that wasn't happening.
I sit on 3/4 of the carnival together. And when I say carnival thing, I ain't talking about carnival programmer. We talking about Dollar Jam and them kind of thing. More fun times when we were in school.
Did you have any point in time in the year when nobody does have christenings?
Christening? That's an interesting one. Though.
You know when you hear a man say, nah, but I can't make a little christening to go out of a child,
For the Catholic Church, there's no baptisms in Lent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's really a slowdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No baptisms and no weddings in Lent for the
Okay.
Catholic Church.
Right, so then we had to respect the seasons, man. You can't ask somebody for money borrow in January unless you know they're really holding.
Or they don't have no responsibilities in December.
Right? So I just
Or
say
is that? Or is the bank?
I tiptoeing around. I'll tiptoeing there. Tiptoeing. Good thing. So, yeah, Mr. Williams, I didn't want to talk about time for the entirety of the show, right? So, how can I help you, good sir? What have you been pondering? What thoughts? What concepts have been occupying thine mind?
There are so many things that have been occupying my mind over the past week and more. And none more so than the state of our country and the state of the world as a whole.
Okay.
All right.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah.
All of the state of the country, the state of the world.
Yeah. Right.
Alright.
But before I delve into that, we must take a very quick break and set it up, because we were supposed to have this segment starting a little while ago.
True.
And we're going to have it for the first time today. And it's called HR with Ru. Right? We might tweak the name because I don't find that sound too smooth.
We're talking about human resource.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Human resource. Right? So we're going to have our first installment of Human Resource with Ruan Peyson.
Our source for human resource.
That song better. That is it. I like
No,
it.
that what we're calling it. We're calling it human resource. All right. Human resource with Ruan Peyson. Our source for human resource. Because she's resource.
Kaboom.
All right, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Ruan Peyson, HR consultant at C-Suite Professionals Limited. And here's a question I think more businesses in Trinidad and Tobago need to ask. Is it time to rethink how we hire? Across the country, I hear the same complaints from employers. We can't find the right people. From job seekers. You know how much emails and resumes I send out and nobody's responding. I never hear back. How can it be both of these groups who are looking to each other are experiencing this at the same time? It's because the way we hire is outdated. Part of the problem is that many hiring practices in Trinidad and Tobago are still based on outdated models. We focus heavily on academic qualifications, certifications, and we don't consider real life experiences and real life skills, experience in the workplace, how people actually have an opportunity to do the job. The other thing that we do a lot is that we use the same job descriptions from 5 years ago. Too many of our job descriptions are simply copy and paste. I mean, we went through a pandemic. There was greater use of technology. So many things have changed within the past 5 years. Why are we still using the same old job descriptions? And of course, my personal favorite in terms of hiring practices, our hiring practices are based on who we know, not necessarily who is a best fit for the job. And in some instances, it's not who you know, but who know you, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, the rest of the world has moved on totally from outdated models like that. Companies are now using skill-based assessments. There are things like competency-based interviews. There are things where people have intro exercises, practical assessments, and even AI has jumped into the fray now, being able to screen applicants more fairly and getting the persons with the right skills for the job, not just a who you know or if they look good on paper. It's no wonder that we are missing out on great talent as we continue to use these outdated models of recruitment. So, what can we do differently here at home? It's time for a smarter approach to hiring. So first things first, rethink your job descriptions. Focus on the must-haves, the real skills that you're looking for, not the laundry list of nice-to-haves and maybe we should do that. And of course, do not just focus on qualifications. The other thing recruiters in Trinidad and Tobago should do is use skills testing. Whether you're hiring a mechanic, an administrative professional, or a marketing officer, give candidates a practical task to do so that you can actually see the skills that they have. The other thing that we need to do is to train our HR teams. Everybody needs to upskill. Continuous learning should be a part of life. Modern recruitment tools exist, like applicant tracking systems or AI-assisted screening. These are very accessible and they're busting your bank. It's not like you have to dig deep into your pockets to get up to the times in terms of recruitment strategies and tools. The other thing I want to leave with you is that you should consider expanding your view. Consider borderless hiring. And that is a real thing. Could the right candidate be from Tobago or working remotely from another island? Borderless hiring and remote work means that your next hire could be in, let's say, St. Lucia. And hiring is not just about filling a position. It's about building your business for the future. And if your old hiring methods aren't working, then that's definitely a sign to shift, not settle. If you want help modernizing your hiring process, let's talk. Reach out to us at C-Suite Professionals Limited at 868-479-1976 or email us at corporate@csuite-pro.com. And of course, you're free to check us out on all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Threads, IG. Let's make Trinidad and Tobago hiring more human, more strategic, and more inclusive. I am Ruan Peyson, and remember, if you can't be good, be careful.
So thank you very much for bringing the HR source, Ruan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look out for this more.
Yeah, man. I have been stirred. You know, I'm generally a passionate fella here, and wear my heart on my very, very short sleeves.
Here we go.
And
Here we go again.
Sorry, a big tune. And
I know that.
And the HR space is one that I did not realize how much it inflamed my passions and stirred my interests, because my Justice Summiter is set on 9, right? True. And I believe human resource is a way for justice to be introduced into systems and to be distributed to people. So big up you, Ru, and we look forward to continuing and developing this session, maybe even getting into the point where we have more interactive sessions as opposed to just the information delivery.
Yeah.
Season 6, we're looking to shake up some things in the living room, so we could look out for a whole additional vibe to this new segment then.
Yeah. Now, why I said that things are looking at the world as a whole and Trinidad and Tobago and their affairs, it's because when there's a shift in governance or leadership, we become hyper vigilant.
Yes, we
and
do.
Everything passes under the microscope.
Yeah, even the microscope under the microscope.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And why I bring this up, it's because we always talk on the show about consistency. And if you have looked at the living room over the years, we have always been, I don't want to say critical, but we have spoken about the current affairs of the country regardless of who is the leader.
Although technically the living room in this iteration has only existed.
I'm not going to say that.
Right. but we've never shown favor.
We have never shown favor.
Yeah, to a particular party or leader, as the case might be.
Correct is right. And recently, I try my best to stay off of social media, especially if something politically big happens.
Mm-hmm.
But over the past couple of weeks, I have been drawn to a lot of the tabloids. And when I say tabloids, I'm not just talking about our major news houses, but I'm talking about the new social media gurus that all of a sudden have the world to say about everything.
Right.
And then after reading the articles or the posts, then I'm drawn to the comments. Because for me, the comments is a reflection of the populace.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that. So.
Right? And the reason why I say the comments is a reflection of the populace is because that is where the average person tends to air their laundry. And when I say their laundry, I mean their views on a topic.
Right.
And I think that is the part that worries me the most, Ricard. Because it continuously reflects to me the fact that we have a 9-day memory in Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody looking at the now and not looking at things that were done in the past. And not because this won't do it, mean it's good for me to come and do it. So all I'm saying is why it's concerning to me is that we as a population, we as a populace, we as a citizenry, yes, we want to pass everything under the microscope, but passing things under the microscope without context, it causes a skewed view, a skewed thought process, a skewed way of metrics, and a skewed way of analyzing a situation. So I ain't asking nobody to go and do research on every single topic, but the Facebook memory came up the other day for me that says if you don't know about something, it's okay to stay quiet.
Okay.
Not everything deserves your input.
Yes, that is correct. We've spoken on a lot of things. Some of them we knew very little about. Some we know more than we could say, at least on air. And I do acknowledge that you are entitled to an opinion.
Correct.
You are all, I believe it is a human right to be able to feel or think a particular way about a thing. However, that does not remove you from the responsibility that you must practice being in a shared social space. There are times where your opinion can do more harm than good. There are times where your opinion can infringe on other people's basic rights to respect and to have opinions of their own. So we mentioned the comment section, and I will continue to say it, that the philosopher Dostoevsky said that you could tell the level of civilization in a country by looking at the level of civilization in a society by looking at its prisons. And I believe you could do the same thing by looking at the comment section. There are people who comment respectfully with intelligence and compassion, and regardless of what they say, they are met by vitriol, they are met by antagonism. There is trolling and bullying, and people who will attack even the most almost Puritan statement that one could make. There is no respect for personal position in the comment section. And it is terrible. It is disheartening as well that we become so polarized that to disagree with someone means that you are now in enmity.
Correct, that's right.
Yeah. So I've gotten to a point where I either disagree very deliberately knowing full well that there can be an engagement that might provoke my less Christian impulses, or I don't bother at all. I recognize that you can't fight every battle, and not every hill is one to
climb.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, to climb. I don't want to use any words I could get you don't have to Alamo everything.
And that's my thing. One thing I have realized in recent times, because I used to be one sometimes to jump off in the comments when I realized something was wrong.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
no,
like
I didn't even.
I'm more likely to correct somebody's grammar than the position.
Right? No, I'm not even engaging.
Yeah.
And I think a prime example of that was on Sunday night while perusing X, which formerly known as Twitter. They were likening a situation in 2018 to a situation now, and speaking of psychosocial support being given to persons affected.
Right.
And someone said how, well, when the situation in 2018 happened, the people then had access to Peepsil for 2 years. That was incorrect.
Facts.
Right? It was 6 months.
Right. So for those of you who aren't aware of what Aaron is speaking, I'm going to point out that there were mass terminations via the closure of companies, or in some cases, the termination of contracts within a company. Right? One of which happened in 2018, one of which happened last week.
Friday.
So pick sense from...
Yeah.
Yeah, go on Google something. Yeah.
And then the person went even as far as to post an article. He linked to an article with one of our local newspapers to back up their point. And there I was watching this and be like, and in my mind, if instead of just reading the headline, you read the article, you would have realized that your point was mute. So, and I was looking at it and it's like, to engage this man and let him know that what he's saying is garbage, or just leave it there and be like, you know what? Cool. And I left it because I did not have the mental capacity to engage at that point.
Yeah.
As Ricardo just said, looking at that would have been like climbing Alexander Hill in my current fitness state.
Right. You're looking for whatever you get up there.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
If you had tell me climb the hill by opposite Wack to go up Marriott Street there, the short one right there to go from Coffee Street to Carib Street, do that.
Yeah, that might kind of hill.
But I'm not engaging somebody who is out there to spew a verbatim, which is in a negative light all the time.
Yeah, the kind of hill that if rain falling, you could run up the hill and pick up your clothes.
But I'm not even doing that, but them clothes will stay wet enough. Them clothes staying wet, brother.
You can't afford that this wrong here on you don't know when next again sunshine.
Well, like we had sunshine yesterday.
Yeah, the day I didn't wash. Anyway.
But man, from the time you see 10 o'clock on hot sun, you should have taken it upon yourself to wash.
Do you feel like sitting on whole day doing nothing and getting paid for it or what?
So are you washing the clothes with your hand?
As soon as I say it, I was like, what have I done? You know what, you're right, Aaron. But
do you own a washing machine?
I have a washing machine. And it works pretty well for a washing machine that is as old as it is. Thank you, Whirlpool and Jesus. Okay. I do want as soon as I said it, I was like, yeah, Aaron going to knock that one out of the park. Well done. I want to advise people, Trinidad and Tobago, to change from all their ways, repent, ask the Lord for forgiveness, because the kind of weather we get in is sin that it have to be washing away. Right? Rivers are breaking their banks, soil is becoming super saturated and acting in very erratic ways. There was an upthrust of the coastline
in
in
Lucero.
Lucero. Yeah, and it was not because of seismic activity. So it is still under investigation. Or for those of you who don't know, I am a member of the Geological Society of Trinidad and Tobago. So
Are you a geologist?
I'm a professional enthusiast. Yeah. Right. So I am monitoring stuff like that. I've always loved geography, and with different council, I might have gone into geology earlier in my life with different council. It is what it is. Right now, I just there for the comments. That's one of the watchwords, right? Here for the comments.
Correct, is right.
Yeah. So while I don't do the actual work myself, I even wrote an article for them for the Newsday earlier this year. Looking at the geopolitics.
Right, that's when they got back their credibility. Cool. Sorry, my bad.
When who got back the credibility? The newspaper?
No comment.
Anyway, so
I refrain from commenting this scenario.
yeah, we have to dot our I's and cross our T's, mind our P's and Q's. In the interest of minding P's and Q's, Aaron, I do want to share something with you. And this is not a belittlement or anything. This is just, I'm full of facts and useless knowledge. So when I get to apply something, I tend to do it. But moot and mute are two different things. Right? Mute, M-U-T-E, is the absence of volume, sound, or silence. Moot, M-O-O-T, is null, negligible, inapplicable even. So if your point is mute, it means nobody hearing it. But if your point is moot, it means it don't count.
I chose my words carefully there. I knew why I said mute.
You know why I say mute?
Yeah.
Right. Is it moot and should be mute?
No, I just meant mute.
I'm going to listen to that again and I'm going to pick apart who it is you threw that for. Who you threw that big stone for.
Yeah, anyway, I don't want to go down that road.
Well, then maybe it wasn't for you. Maybe it was for somebody else who's listening and they're like, is mute meant to say? And now we know is mute meant to say. Right? But for who didn't know, mute and moot sometimes can and should be used interchangeably, depending on what it is you're trying to say about who, or what you would rather they not have said at all. So that's your grammatical fact for the day. Moving on in conversation. You good there?
Yeah.
Also, now you're mute.
Yeah.
So, I thought you read that my contribution moot now.
No. That was your Sheldon moment for the episode.
Oh, I don't know what a Sheldon moment is, but I'll take it.
You clearly never watched Big Bang Theory.
I watch Big Bang Theory, but what do you consider a Sheldon moment to be?
Explaining
like a
point that
like a funny flags kind of thing?
like explaining that point that nobody asked you to explain.
Oh no, that's been a kind of moment before it was a Sheldon moment. What are you talking about? Bro, I've been doing that since I was like 6. What are you telling me? This if unsolicited advice was a skill set.
That's you.
I would have gotten an award for unsolicited advice by now. Yeah. So again, we go ahead.
But really and truly, guys, we keep saying it. We just asking that. As I heard in the Senate debate yesterday, what is good for the goose, let it be good for the gander.
Mm-hmm.
So, once you're passing under the microscope, pass with context.
Passing? I thought you say passing, you know. Yeah, I thought you say like once you're passing under the microscope.
No, once you're passing something under the microscope.
Yeah.
Pass it with context.
No, I was just wondering if there was a criticism of a religious figure that I might have missed.
Brother, man, I don't want to get cancelled in this.
So I was just clarifying whether it was passing or passing, and you clarified that it is passing.
The only thing I would say passing is passing wife, which is a mark in playway.
Righto. Nice one. Noted.
I sent you a whole email.
Sir, I am
and
being...
you ignored everything. You didn't even read the email.
I am being very careful and deliberate to make sure that I don't even flirt with the line, much less cross it. Which is why I'm double checking certain things. That is why I'm double checking Aaron. Aaron, there is one thing I am is mindful of the people and them broadcast license. Trust me. Hey,
Please.
big up Sick, right? Big up Sick, right? Out of Canada, because there are times where he notices that I hold back on some of the positions that I would like to propose, but I am mindful of this space, and this is not a private channel and a bedroom podcast. Despite its recording at times, the reality is that this goes out onto the airwaves.
Yeah,
So-
because it's a real serious thing, and I don't think people take into consideration, as you said earlier, sometimes we speak on topics and you all think that we don't know about it, but it's because we have to navigate it so skillfully, because we know more than we may be supposed to know, and we don't want to get anybody in any kind of trouble for the things that we may say.
And by anybody, I also mean myself. I hate to iron, so I'm not looking for that court close action. All right. So yes, there are times where we can go more richly and maybe even controversially into things, but we are also mindful with our opinions of the responsibility we have for the space within which we function.
Correct. Now, we are getting perilously close to the hour of 7 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked onto the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are.
Culture crazy.
And as we get in there, just had to say, guys, we are leaving the living room in the hands of Cardo for a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be able even to tune in and watch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So all know the standard of the living room. So the thing about passing things under the microscope with context, please hold Cardo to the same standard that we are accustomed having in the living room, please.
Aaron?
I've
Go ahead.
I've been on the air with living room, ladies' room first and living room for at least 8 years. And I'm passing it over to Cardo for a month.
Mm-hmm.
From July the 8th, that'll be my...
All right. Appreciate the warning that you've given to the people. I appreciate the trust that you placed in me to represent this project with some manner of dignity and decorum. I'm also afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you in several ways. The truth is, Aaron, as soon as you are gone, I am looking for a locksmith. First thing I'm doing is changing the locks. I'm sorry. It is going to be very difficult for you to get back into the living room unless one of the co-hosts that we're going to recruit for this season, unless they let you back in. Yeah. Yep. You on vacation, hiatus, or homecoming, or whatever other space you might be in for the next couple of weeks. I want you to be there and be there confident that Kenny is going to appreciate your return. Yeah.
That don't sound good. That does not sound good.
Yeah.
Right? And also just letting you all know, from the Fridays, I think the 11th may be my last Friday for about 3 or 4 weeks as well.
Yeah, well, I'll storm that session too, so people will get a good enough dose of Cardo and Aaron that they shouldn't miss you too much. I'll probably record 1 or 2 clips of your disapproving face and just air them sporadically throughout the episodes when you're not here. Yeah, I feel that happening.
Hey.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be a trip. It's gonna be interesting. And not only that, you'll get to critique the show in a.
Don't worry. There will be one episode, I'm 100% sure, where I'll at least send a video clip from a beach somewhere in the world, just wishing you all well.
Yeah, man. And as I say that, by then I might have learned enough from He Who Shall Remain Unnamed that I might record an episode of Living Room on the Beach. You never know.
Yeah, but I'm genuinely looking forward to this break. It is one that I think I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forced or unforced, it is one that I think I need.
Wait, do you mean the break forced or unforced, or the entire reason you're taking a break forced?
No, the break is a forced one because
Oh, okay, cool.
if it was left up to me, I would have tried to work through everything that is going on. But in retrospect, when I took a look at everything, as we said a couple of weeks ago when we were talking mental health, you had to know when to rest.
Yeah.
Right? And this is a period where I think I need to rest.
Copy that.
So, because I think Friday is my last DJ job for a little while too.
All right. Nice
Saturday.
You'll be all right. And the show will be all right as well too.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Desmond, make sure that he keep it up there.
Yeah. Now you wouldn't believe, Aaron. I still remember the first day you invited me onto the program, and since then it has been a much belabored journey. We could have been a lot further along than we are, but I also trust in God's timing that we will get where we're supposed to go with this program. I said it maybe jokingly the other day, but not so much. That my intention is that by the end of season 6, and I'm calling it season 6 because I'm counting these seasons where we were recording video, that by the end of it, we're going to be a flagship program. So much so that people who might not listen to the station otherwise are going to start tuning into the station for this. And because of that, they're going to get exposed to the beauty that is the WAC 90.1 FM space. Yeah, whether it's from Foxy and Damien in the morning, right down until Mr. Desmond turn off the lights. It's really, I think Trinidad and Tobago, who the members of the listening community who aren't aware of what WAC is, I think they're in for very, very pleasant surprises.
Nice.
Yeah. So
with that being said, this is our time. Yours truly, Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code. And I also remind you that love is the currency. So spend some today, less some, but you know you like that, guys.
And this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. And if you can't be good, at least be kind. At least be kind.
Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band. Keep it locked.